Hi, it's Mary. Welcome to the Paper Turtle. Today we're doing a craft along. So grab your stuff and craft along with me. Whether you're doing this project or your own project, it doesn't matter. It's just our time to kind of sit and craft, make something. What I'm working on are these two journals. If you saw my first video in this little series, I guess, where I made the covers, now I'm going to be sewing in the signatures. I did choose my paper and put it together. The first one, I've already sewn the signatures in because, well, you don't need to see me do two of them. So I did one already, and I love it. Oh my goodness, it's just, I can't wait to use these. If you didn't see my first video, well, first of all, go back and watch it. But second of all, I'm making these journals for me and my granddaughter. We're going on a trip to Greece. I'm so excited. I've never been anywhere like that before, and I get to do it with my granddaughter. I'm just like so happy about that. So I'm making us journals to take with us and to just record what we do and what we see, and to save all our stuff in here. And I'm just excited about it. You can tell I'm excited, and I'll probably talk about it a lot. And you'll probably see, I'll probably do a flip through of the journal after the trip just to show you what I put in it and everything. That'll be fun. Wouldn't it be good? I don't know. It's kind of like watching your grandparents' slides, but you might like it. If you don't have to watch that one. But anyway, so I have two signatures that I am preparing to sew in. That's what I'm going to do. And I have a variety of paper in my signatures. There's some dyed paper. There's some, well, a lot of dyed paper. There's, what's this? Ledger paper. How many do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh yeah, when I did the other one, I added a page, one more page in each signature because I felt like it wasn't quite enough. But I don't want these to be too bulky to start with because we're going to be putting stuff in them. So all right, so this, I'm just going to add a piece of this paper. This is grid paper, but it's yellow. Isn't that cool? Yellow grid paper. I just love it. And the size of my journal, as if you watched the first video, you know that I made them with a mailer, and I'd covered the mailer with fabric, and the size of them is about 5.5 by 9.25. So it's a really good size for just taking a piece of paper, and regular piece, 8.5 by 11 paper, and folding it in half. But I do have to do some trimming because it is just a little bit smaller than that. This first page in the signature is a piece of cardstock scrapbook paper. And I like to put that for the first page in my signatures. I don't know why. It's just a thing I do. You don't have to do that. I just like to do it. And I make that the biggest size that I want my paper to be. I don't want any of the papers to be any bigger than this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my pages all up in here the way I want, and then I'm going to trim the paper down like that. And then they'll fit in there nice and snug and pretty. But first I want to make sure I have them in the order that I want them in. Because I think I just threw these in here without any thought to where I want them. What have I got here? Well, I guess I could put this paper right here. Now this one is on a longer sheet of paper and it's folded. So if I were to trim this, it's going to cut that fold right off, and I don't want to do that. I want to keep it. So I'm just going to fold it in a little bit more. Like that. And I think that will be, yep, that makes it shorter than this. So when I trim, I won't be trimming off the fold. So I'm going to leave that right like that, and it'll just be a fold out in the journal. Isn't that a rich, rich color? Somebody sent me that. I don't know what she dyed it with. It could be like crepe paper or Kool-Aid or something like that. Oh my goodness, it's just gorgeous. I love it. And here's another one that's folded. And I think I'm going to flip this around so that it's not like the next page after this folded one. And I'm going to do the same thing because I don't want to, I mean, I could just cut it off and not have a fold, but I like the folds in there. It just adds a little bit of interest, I think. The other one, I actually folded it twice. I used the fold that was there, and then I folded it again, and then I cut it a little bit. So I'm going to do that again. These journals don't have to be identical, but if I have the same like features in each of them, then when I'm doing something, if I do something on a page, I can show my granddaughter what I did to give her an idea of what she can do on the page. Or she can come up with something and show me what she did. And again, we don't have to do the same things. It's just, I don't know, just an idea. So I just cut this little bit off so that when I fold it, it folds nice and even like that. Okay. Might be a little crooked, but it's a junk journal. Who cares? Very light pages here. I'm wondering if I need to switch something around. Yeah. Let's put this one. I don't want it next to that though. There. That's better. So here's another one. Oh, I didn't realize I had so many of these long pages in here. I'll just fold that one in too. I hate to waste this pretty paper. Now, when it comes time to decorating this, say we're like in the hotel room and we're, you know, in the evening and we're playing around with this. This is extra paper. If we want to cut this off and use it to make a pocket or to, you know, fold it up and make a little envelope or whatever, we can do that. So it's extra paper in here. So I think that that's good. Okay. Now, the only other thing that I need to do before I trim, well, or I can do it after I trim, but I'll do it before I trim, is I have this envelope in here. And I'm going to leave it upright like this as an envelope. But what we have to do is we have to cut the center. Otherwise your flaps aren't going to come up. So you cut just a little bit to each side of that center line. Right like that. Cut that center flap off. It's not that difficult. And then your flaps will flap freely once they're in the signature. But what I want to do you see how this one, the end kind of comes in a little bit, and this one is straight because that's how I cut it. I'm just going to make that one look more like this one, if I can do it at the right angle. It's not going to be perfect, but I'm just going to round the corner a little bit. And then you see that looks a little bit more symmetrical than this one. So I'll do the same thing over there. It's just a little design thing that I do. You don't have to do it. You can leave it. You can cut the whole flap off if you want. You know, if you just want a pocket here, you can cut the flap off and make just pockets. That's cool too. There's a lot of different ways that you can use an envelope in your signatures. So many different ways. You can put them in, you know, regular like this. You can seal this part and cut this to make a side pocket. You can seal this and cut this to make a top pocket. I have seen people put them in this way so that they're folded like this in the signature. And then you can make pockets, tucks, however, with each of these sides. So many different things. If you haven't used envelopes in your journals, try it. They're so versatile. You can do so much with them. And then, you know, of course, once they're in there, you decorate them all different ways. And yeah, it's a fun little element. I always add an envelope in my signatures. All right. Probably because I have a million envelopes too that really need to be used. Because, you know, I buy cards or note cards or stationery, and it all comes with envelopes. And so I have a box, I separate them. So I have a box of envelopes. And I just dig into that box and use them. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I am going to trim off these papers so that none of them are bigger than this one on the outside. Again, you don't have to do that. It's a style choice. It's just what I prefer to do. Someday I'll do a journal where I don't do that. Someday I'll do a journal where it's all just sticking out like that. But for now, this is how I am doing it. And you know, you get into like a rhythm or a style or way of doing something, and it's really hard to make yourself break out of that routine. I mean, it's like life. You know, I have a routine in my life, and sometimes we end up going to the same places, eating at the same restaurants, doing the same things, and it's like, okay, we need to get out of that rut. If it starts to feel like a rut, sometimes it's just comfortable, you know, and it's just what you enjoy doing. So why not do what you enjoy doing? Same thing with this. I feel like if it feels like it's a rut, do something different. If you know you're bored with what you do and you feel like you're, I don't know, maybe not progressing on a journey, if you feel like it's some kind of a journey, change it up. Do something different. And I don't always do that. You know, I don't always change it up when I probably should. And you can also tear these. So when they get down to this point where, okay, my knife blade is dull and it's not working, I'm going to just tear the rest of them. That one I'm going to cut though. What the heck? Come on. My blade must be really dull. All right. Okay, so now we have all of our papers are trimmed down to a certain size. And I do have shorter papers in there, and that's fine. But for some reason in my head, I don't like them any bigger. So that's where they are. So that's signature number 1. My ties are too long on that, but I don't want to trim them yet. Okay, signature number 2. I wanted to put another page in here too, I think. Let me count. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that's ripped. 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I wanted one more page. And that's going to be this column paper. Isn't that pretty? I don't know if you can see the colors on that. It's got this like fuchsia. The lines are bright pink. It's so pretty. I love this paper. The background is a green and then it's got that bright pink on it. And again, I can just fold this and it's the right height and everything. I didn't have to trim anything height-wise. I might just put that here. Add a little color to that page. And it doesn't bother me that it's not like in the right direction. It's fine. Because the lines go both ways. It doesn't matter. Isn't that pretty paper? Somebody sent me that. All of my dyed paper and stuff somebody sent me. Because I don't dye my own paper. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my gosh. Now this page has a little tear in it. So I'm going to... It needs some reinforcing. I want to do it before I handle this too much more so it doesn't rip more. So I'm going to go ahead and put... Maybe I'll put a pocket here. Now I'll put a... Yeah, I'll put a pocket here. And I'm just going to use some piece of paper that I have sitting here that's a cutoff from when I did the signatures. There's a map. That'll work right there. Right like that, won't it? Yep, I like it. I need to use a cutter because I can't cut straight. If I don't really care if it's straight, then I'll use my scissors, but I don't know what I think. I've said this before. I lost my blade. I think that I can't cut straight because of my contacts. I think it's me. I think it's my eyes. So knowing that I can't, I don't even attempt it. This journal, I'm not going to decorate it too much because I want that to be done along the way as we're using it. I don't want it to be like too bulky from the start. So what I'm going to do is put some pockets and some tuck spots and things like that in it, so that we have a place to put things that we collect along the way. And then we can decorate it more later if we need to. Now, I am going to put something on this so that it's not ripping. I'm going to put some washi tape there, but I need a wider washi than what I have. Some of my washi tape I keep in a basket. Most of my washi tape I keep in a basket. But one time I had this great idea that I was going to get these embroidery hoops and put my washi tape on the embroidery hoops. And I have several of them because I would need several. And I got them on one. Decided I really didn't have any place to hang them. I have one little hook on the side of my cart over there. That's where I have these. And I decided I didn't really have any place to hang them. And instead of taking these off the embroidery hoop and putting them back in the basket, that's where they have sat. And it's like, Mary, can you get any more lazy? Just take them off and put them in the basket. Then they'll all be in the same place. But nope. All right, so this, it doesn't matter what washi tape I put on there, because it's not going to show. I'm just putting it on there just to reinforce the tear. So I don't need it that big. There. So that's going to be underneath there. We won't see it. See? I don't usually decorate and put pockets and stuff in before I sew my signatures in. That's always a question that a lot of people ask. If you decorate before you sew your signatures in. I have seen people do it, and they do it just fine. And if that's the way you like to do it, then that's the way you do it. It's a matter of personal preference. One thing I will say, if you want to sew on your pages, like if you want to sew maybe some trim along the edge, or you want to sew a pocket onto your page, obviously you have to do it before you sew your signature in. So that's one advantage to decorating before you sew your signatures in, is that you can do those type of things. And I keep telling myself, again, one day I'm going to do that. That'll be the same journal that I make where I don't trim my pages. I'll decorate it first. That'll be an experimental journal. Oh, and look, that works out great because the little thumb notch ends up underneath the flap. So that's how you see that page. I like that. But the reason that I don't do it is because I feel like the pages would be too bulky to handle sewing them into the signature. I don't know. I guess people that do it don't find that a problem, but all right, let's see, what else can we put on this side? I have this. I can put a side pocket right there. Does that go with that green? It kind of does. That goes okay, right? This is more florally and this is more botanical like. But do we care? I have this. If I do it down here, I'm going to use this. Then it'll cut off this flower anyway, and there won't be a flower on there. Okay. And how wide do I want it? I don't want it this wide. I only want it about here. About here. And I like my measuring here. Yeah, I like that. Okay. And I'll do the same type of thing, because I always do the same type of thing. It's simple. You know, if you just want to do a very simple style, a simple methods and techniques, watch me, because I'm very simple, very basic. I'd like to learn to do some other things, and I've been trying to do some other things. But when it comes down to actually making something and doing it, I just kind of revert back to my simple self. And I like it. I like the style. I like doing it like this. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'll just put a little bit of this washi tape. I'll just use this one. You're not going to see. My washi tape just tore. You're not going to see it, so it doesn't matter what I put down there. I'll just do this one then. Washi tape is so finicky sometimes, isn't it? And some of my washi tape is pretty old. I've had it a long time. Okay, so we're just reinforcing the tear so it doesn't tear anymore. So it is an absolutely gorgeous day here in Florida today. It's a little on the cool side, but that's nice. It's like just perfect if you're a boater or fisherman or something like that. It's a perfect day to be out on the water. Yesterday it was really windy, and I guess that was bringing in this cold front that we have. But today it's not so windy. The sky is just blue as blue can be, and it's just absolutely gorgeous out there. Kind of wish I was out there. But it's Saturday, and we don't do much on Saturdays because the area is full of people from the cities that come out here on the weekends to do their weekend playing, and there's just too many people out there. All right, so that's that one. Did I check everything else? The paper bag. Okay, this one, instead of an envelope, I put in this little paper bag. And I think what I'm going to do is the same thing I did with the other one, because it's tried and true. And again, it's I don't know what I do with these. I don't know. Anyway, it's just one of these little paper bags. I folded it in half as a signature page. And obviously this half of it is going to be this little pocket here. So I'm going to make this half the same thing. Again, these things, you can do all kinds of things with them. Use your imagination. You can cut it up here, make it a pocket that way. Maybe I'll do that. Yeah, let's do that. I'm doing something different. There's all kinds of things you can do with these things. You just use your imagination and do something different. And I mean, it doesn't have to be something different. Do the same thing. But I'm going to cut that. Okay, so that one is going to be a pocket, and I'm going to punch a little hole in that. I'm using this little piece of scrap paper to give this a little bit of thickness, so when I punch my notch, it'll actually go through. Because sometimes if your paper's too thin, like this paper bag, that may not punch well. So you just stick a piece of paper behind there. There. And then that's a little pocket for something, and then we can decorate that at a later time. Okay. So what I'm checking for now is to see that my pages kind of look good next to each other, that they fit well. I don't have too much white all in one place, that I don't have like clashing patterns or colors next to each other, that type of thing. See, that goes good together. I like that. Again, people sent me. Love it. I love the variety when I have different people sending me different things. Oh, you know what I forgot to check for was those folds. When I have different people sending me different things, I get such a variety of types of paper. And all right, see, now here I messed this up. So this one I'm going to have to, oh, shoot. You guys knew what I was doing, didn't you? I'm going to end up cutting this off. Because look how much wider it is. This is the page, and it's so much wider. How would it look? We're going to find a solution here. If that were the first page. Is it going to stick out too far? No, it'll be right to that edge. But see how much bigger it is than the other signature? It's going to be the second signature. Do I want it like that? So it would be like this, and it would be right to the edge of the page, and it would look like this when you open up the book. I don't mind that too bad, but this is like really, really close. I think it's too much. All right, what am I going to do with this now? I messed that up. Okay, there's always a solution. Let's figure it out. I can, if I cut this down, it's going to cut it down quite a bit. And then I can just glue the edge of the pocket. I mean, that's the easiest solution to it. I can't really fold it because that wouldn't, you know, that's not going to work with the pocket there. And plus on this side, I've got this. So I think the easiest thing is going to be I'm just going to have to cut it like down to size. Yeah, that's what I'm going to end up doing. Okay. That's okay. We'll just deal with it. We'll deal with it. So this is what happens. When you're crafting, you make mistakes. You don't think, and you make mistakes, and that's okay. Because we all do. Where was I putting this? Was it here? I don't know where I had it. I think it was there. I don't have any other pages in this one that are folded like that. They all ended up in the other signature. How did that happen? I don't know. But if I want to fold one, I can fold one. But if I fold this one, I don't like that one. It's not that I don't like the paper. Just I'll fold this one. And I'm just folding it just a little bit. It's not as much as the other pages. Okay. All right, let's get a move on here, girl. Come on. Okay, so I'm lining all my papers up, right? exactly where I want them. That look good? That looks good. Make sure they're all pushed down. Okay, here we go. Ruler. Knife. You know what? I watched some people using their craft knife. Oh my God. I cringe. I cringe. I'm like, oh my God, she's going to cut her finger off. She's going to slice right into her belly. She's going to do this. She's going to do that. I hate watching people using their craft knives. I don't know why. It scares me. It scares me to use mine. Some people use theirs for like everything. I hardly ever use mine, really. This cut better than the last one did. But yeah, I'm a safety girl, so things scare me. If it can cut me and make me bleed, it scares me. My husband is a knife freak, okay? He's got like a ton of knives. He collects them. It's his thing. And he plays with them. And he'll sit there and he'll like shave the hair off of his arm, or you know, if I say to him, if I'm trying to open a package or something and I say, do you have a knife? It's like, of course I have a knife. And then he'll whip his knife out and I'm like, oh my God, be careful. He's very used to handling knives though. And he does cut himself once in a while, but he doesn't care. It's just part of the comes with the territory. All right, so where's our page? All right, it's not bad. It's you know, now the notch is a little off center, and but it's not horrible. I can live with it. It's not a bad solution. It's just I liked it the other way better. All right. I really liked the flap, but it wasn't going to work for me, so there we are. Okay, so we have our two signatures all cut down to size and ready to sew into. And I just keep checking. I check them over and over again to see, make sure I didn't like miscalculate something, mess something up or anything. All right, so they're going to fit just fine. And now I'm going to show you how I sew my signatures in. Now, you've probably seen me do this in a previous video. I know you've probably seen other people do it. Everybody does it just a little bit differently. And that's okay. If you're fairly new, I suggest try all the different ways that you see people doing it. Pick the one that you feel is easiest for you. Try a few, and then soon you'll develop your own way of doing it, because that's just what we do, you know. All right, so what I want to do is find the center of my spine. Now there's a couple ways that you can do this. I'm just going to use my centering ruler and use the ruler and eyeball it at the same time. You could make a template. If you cut a piece of paper that is exactly the same size, width and length as your spine, you can use that template. If you fold your template, like say this is your template, which is not, because it's not the right size of my spine, but say this was the size of your spine. If you fold your template in half this way and then you fold your template in half this way. Like that, right? And then you open it up. Without the fumble fingers. The very center of your folds right here is the center of your spine. From there, you can decide how far on this way you want your holes, how far on this way from the center you want your holes, and just mark where you're going to put your holes and use this as a template. Then you lay it on your spine, poke your holes where you marked them. Then you take your template, put it in your signature, poke your holes where you marked them. That's an easy way to do it. I'm not gonna bother with the template. I probably should have just done it because I just practically did the whole thing with a sample, but this is how I am doing it, and this is another way to do it. But okay, so I am finding the center of my spine using my centering ruler. And it is, I gotta use a pencil. It's right here. All right, I'm just gonna, this is really harder to do because I have striped fabric here. So it's hard to see exactly where my what I'm trying to do is I just want to make a straight line going across here, across my center. Looks about right. Okay, so here's about the center of my spine. Now what I want to do is find the center going the other way, and it's going to be, oh man, this is hard to see. All right, here's a half, there's 1 inch, there's a half, there's a half. Wow. All right, you know what, I'm not going to be able to measure it because I can't see it. So what I'm going to do is eyeball it. That can be dangerous, but what I'm trying to establish right now is where my 2 signatures are going to go in, and I think I'm going to do it. It really looks like, maybe I can do it here. It's really looking like this center stripe is actually the center of the spine. Oh, just about. It really is. So that helps. My stripe going right here is actually the center of my spine. That was not planned. That just happened to work out that way. So I'm going to put 1 signature here and 1 signature here on either side of the center of the spine. Maybe a little closer to the green dot there. Okay, then I'm going to measure out from there. The other one I did 3 inches, so I'm going to do 3 inches again because I think that seemed to be a good measure. I'm going to try to get it straight. Again, I'm really basically just eyeballing this. If you want to be like exactly perfect, then you will want to use the template probably. I'm using a pink pen so that they'll show up. All right. It looks pretty good where the dots are. Now I'm going to poke my holes in here. I'm going to use this spongy mat thing here because I'm using this is like an old-fashioned awl. I found it in a estate sale. Isn't it cool? I just love it. It's kind of thick, but that's okay. I don't always use it, but this spine is a little bit thick, so I'm going to use this to be able to get through the spine. I'm using this as a cushion for it to go into. If I try to do it on here, it won't go into that, and I won't get enough of a hole. So I'm using this cushy little mat. So we're going to start right here and just push. Okay, it's through. When you mine is, like I said, my spine is a little bit thick, so mine's going through a little hard. Of course, that center is also going through a piece of ribbon. I have a feeling I'm a little wide on this, but I'm all right with that. If you don't mind your signatures being just like slightly wonky, then you can just eyeball it. If you want it to be perfectly exact, I suggest making the template. All right, my holes are made in my spine. Now I'm going to attach my first signature. And I just want to make sure that everything is going in the right direction. My envelope flaps are at the top. Anything that might have any kind of printing on them, which I don't think I have anything. This is kind of sideways. Yeah, I don't have anything with printing on it except for this. So everything's going in the right direction. And I'm going to use where did I put it? To the rubber. This clip to mark that this is the top of my signature. It's just my own way of doing that. Then I'm putting on some clips, which these are kind of big, but they work, so. Maybe I'll get a smaller one. This is just so your pages don't move around on you while you're trying to sew this in. And you want to make sure that they didn't get crunched up when you were putting the clips on. Sometimes that happens. Okay. Now I need to mark where I'm going to put my holes. And I want the center. So I'm going to find the center of the widest piece of paper that I have in here. And it should be at about 4 1/4 on each side. A little bit more. Mark the center. Mark 3 inches. That's where my holes will be. Now I'm using my smaller piercer because I don't need the great big holes from the awl. And I'm just holding it, cradling it in my hand, keeping my finger out of the way of where the hole's coming through, of course. And making sure that you go straight up and down. That's That's the key. If you go in sideways, your holes are going to come out on the side of your, see like this one a little bit, on the side of your spine, and you want them exactly on your spine. I don't know why mine went off, but it's not going to hurt it. It's just going to be a little bit off. All right, now I'm going to take, nope, that's not the one I'm using. Mary, you almost messed up. So I've picked out navy blue to go with my cover. And this is just twine. I got it at the thrift store. 1, 2, 3 lengths of your cover. Doesn't have to be exact. Quit measuring everything. You'll always, if you do 3 lengths, you'll always end up with extra. And you want to have extra over not having enough. For my needle, I try to find a needle with a large eye and a more narrow needle part, if I can. Because I want the large hole to be able to get my, I use twine a lot, or baker's twine, or floss. So I want to be able to thread that. So I need a bigger hole, and I don't want this to be too thick, because I don't want really thick holes in my signatures, because the thicker your holes, the easier they're going to tear. That's just my way of thinking, my logic. Double checking that my cover is going in the right direction. Now, one thing I do want to say, don't, you know what? If you are worried about sewing your signature in upside down, it's okay. I will tell you that I bet everyone, even your most experienced people, have done that at least once. I know I have. It's part of the game. And you learn from it. You learn to check and double check. My very first journal that I made, I sewed my signature in upside down. And it was because I was excited. I was excited to do it. I was excited to be sewing in my first signature, and I just went for it. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's okay. But what I did, I left it, because I'm like, oh no, I sewed my signature in upside down. Oh, darn it. And I had already cut the thread, and I was like, I can't get this knot out. So I'm going to have to just leave it. That was my thought. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm just going to have to leave it. So to this day, my signature in my first journal is upside down. But you don't have to just leave it. Of course you don't have to just leave it. You can take a pair of scissors and snip that signature out of there and redo it. It's just a little bit of thread. It's not a big deal. But I was like so hard on myself. I was like, oh my God, Mary, you're so stupid. How could you sew that in upside down? And now it's that way forever. No, it's not. No, it's not. If you do it upside down and you don't want to leave it upside down like I did, you just snip your threads and do it again. It's so silly, the things that we stress about and get upset about when we don't have to. It's okay. Yeah. Now, in my first one that I did, I'm going to show you how I did this. The thread that I used has silver in it. I'll show you. Hold on one second. All right, so you have these extra threads, right? There's a couple of things. Okay, I'm just like, where are my other holes? I got one hole way over here. That's far over. I might redo that hole. Anyway, let me get back to where I was. You have these strings. A couple things you can do with them. You can leave them long and tie like beads or something to dangle down on the bottom. That's really cute, and I might do that with this one. You can cut them to shorter than the page size and glue little paper shapes, hearts or flowers or whatever, onto them as little dangly things. That's really cute to do. You can tie a bow here so that it looks cute, or you can just cut the threads really short so that you barely see them. Now with this one that I did, this thread that I used, I don't even know if you'll be able to tell. This thread, you probably can't see it, has gold in it. Not gold. No, it doesn't have gold. It has silver in it. And so when I finished with this and I had the long strings, that silver, I'll show you. The silver was coming unwound like this. I don't know if you can see that. See the little silver thread right here? It was coming unwound from the white. So I couldn't just leave it dangling because it would just all unwind. And it would be like this. So I decided on this one to cut those short. This one, I'm not going to cut yet. I'm going to wait and decide what I want to do with it. So I'm just going to leave them for now because I might do something with that. I might put some beads on it or charms, or I might do something with a shorter thread. Okay, second signature. I am going to repoke this hole because when I look at it on the outside, it's way over here. I feel like it needs to be in just a titch, just a titch, not a lot. See, it just fell back into the hole. Maybe I can just leave it. I probably just like made the hole bigger and that wasn't good, but we'll see. Okay, now this signature does have words on some of the pages that have to be going the right way. So I just need to make sure that I do have everything going the right way. My bag pocket is going in the right direction. And everything is good. So I'm going to put my green clip up here to tell me that that's my top. And once you, if you're new, once you've made a few journals, you do develop a kind of a routine for doing it. Like what clips you use, when you clip it, how you clip it, where you clip it, how you do your holes. All of that stuff will become routine for you. And so each time you do it, it gets easier and easier and easier. And that's when you finally say, well, maybe this is too routine and I want to do something different, and you learn a new technique. That's what I need to do. I need to learn a new technique just to do something a little bit different. I did not pay attention at all to the time. I don't have my watch out here. I don't know what time I started. I have no idea how much time it's been. So I'm going to apologize if this is like a super long video. I really need to get my act together on that. This is what I don't like about this. It doesn't stay. Yeah, so I hope this isn't too long. I'm just going to finish sewing this in, and then that'll be it. I was going to do a little decorating, but I feel like the video's kind of long, so I might have to do like a third. Just a third one, just to do the little bit of decorating. What am I looking for? Just to do a little bit of decorating in it. I'll do one more video on this series, and then these will be done. So for those of you, the one of you who answered my question about what kind of videos you would like to see, this is for you. This is a kind of a start to finish, but since I'm not going to be decorating it like a whole lot, it'll be it won't be drawn out. It'll be a quick 3-part series, start to finish, and then the flip through. I'll do a final flip through after I come back from Greece and we've done our thing and decorated it. And we'll see if my granddaughter does anything in hers, if she maybe she'll be a guest if she wants to, and she can do a flip through of hers, or maybe she'll let me do a flip through of hers. I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. She may decide she doesn't want to do it. She doesn't want to use the journal, and that's fine. She doesn't have to. It's just an idea, a way for us to keep track of what we do on the trip. And she has a junk journal that we made together, but she doesn't do too much in it. She wanted to leave it here. She didn't want to take it home. And sometimes when they come over, she doesn't want to work in it. So it kind of just sits there, which is fine. If she's not into it, she's not into it. You can't force a kid to be into something. And maybe she's just not like ready to be into it yet. Maybe when she's a little bit older, she'll get into it. I don't know. She likes to draw, and I was hoping that she would like do some drawing, use it like as an art journal, but she I don't know if she quite gets it, but maybe she will. And maybe us each having one on this trip, she'll get it, or she'll just think that it's kind of stupid and she won't she won't even look at it. I don't think she'll think that, though. She's a good kid, and she does appreciate this kind of thing. She wants to learn how to sew, and I really wish that I knew a little bit. I shouldn't say that I don't know about sewing. I do know about sewing. My mother and my grandmother taught me how to sew, but I don't do much sewing, and I haven't sewn from a pattern in years. So I don't know. I don't feel confident. What's happening here? I don't feel confident in my own abilities to be able to show her how. But she has another grandmother who, I guess, sews and has shown her, but my granddaughter told me that her grandmother really didn't show her a whole lot, and like they didn't use a pattern, and so she doesn't, I don't think she really felt like she learned how to sew, you know what I mean? I think she made like some kind of a bag or purse or something with her, and that's a start. Like she has a sewing machine that they sold her. Personally, I would have just given it to her, but whatever. So they sold her a sewing machine, but she doesn't know how to use it, and I don't think it has all the, oh my gosh, why am I having a hard time here? I don't think it has, like, I don't even know if it has a pedal. I hope it does. I don't know. I need to get with her about that and see what she's got, and see if we can figure out together how to use it. You know, I don't know why you would give a child something like that and then not sit down with them and show them how to use it, because that's not something that, you know, you're not born knowing how to use a sewing machine. I had a grandmother who sewed, and my mother sewed, and so it was kind of something that I was always exposed to, and that they taught me, you know, they taught me how to use a pattern, how to sew, and it's a good thing for anybody to know how to do. I just don't know if I'm skilled enough to teach her, but I want to, you know, I want to try. So one of these days we'll get to that. All right, signature is sewn in. They look pretty good. This one's a little wonky. It's a little over to this side too much, but again, I'm not worried about it. It's not, you can't even tell, you know, it looks perfect. Actually, if I look at it, I could fit another signature in there if I wanted to. So there we are. I think that's going to be it for today, and the next time we'll do a little bit of decorating. I do want to do a little bit more on these covers. I want to put beads on the ends of the ties, and I want to put some kind of a label or something at least on the front. Maybe some trim. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. But yeah, we're rocking here. These are coming out really nice. So thank you so much for watching, and check in next time for a little bit of decorating, and then we'll be done. So don't forget to subscribe, and if you hit the little notification button, that'll let you know when I upload videos, because I don't do it like every day. So hit that notification button, and if you want to leave me a comment, I love comments, and hit the like button too, because it all helps. Now that I'm monetized, I don't get much. I put the least amount of ads on as they will allow, and because I don't want you guys to have to sit there and watch ads. But if I can get a little bit of money back from it, then I can do some more thrifting. So if you help me out in that, you'll see some more haul videos. Anyway, thank you for watching. We will see you later. Bye.